ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथामृतं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनः सहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नाम। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादिकाशाप्रदेशकारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौर श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी शवानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नीलाचलनिवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रसुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So we will begin with an exercise today. Which we would request all of you to solve individually. So this group exercise is remaining from the last section or the first section. This is Srila Prabhupada's lecture on Bhagavad Gita 1.6, 1.7. This is exercise from the previous discussion. That is Sanya Niriksha Yoga, previous section. So Srila Prabhupada says, London, July 11, 1973, there is two missions. what are the ways it can be misutilized, and what are the consequences of the misutilization, and whatever you say, bro. So we'll just take a few responses and then we'll move ahead. Yes. Who would like to share the answers? Yes, Vivek will. And then Tamal will agree. All. Yes.
You can start getting up in or one way you started getting trained enough how to physical doing and flexibility rather than the philosophical thing. This can lead to devotees getting into these cases and they are getting more influenced and what really Prabhupada meant here was these devotees should be trained in both ways, to bring protection to devotees and from needed in the case of these games. Devotees needed someone to protect them. No one is there that is good at the main management. Prabhupada meant, yes, they should be training, but that is not the whole point of training. He is letting know that devotees should be philosophically feeling and not devotees should be able to protect the
Yes, Tamal will.
So it can lead to people who are satisfied their lust and they may become violent in that industry by the and missionaries can use this thing for other people. They want to expand the mission and they can like visit places or the purpose of training and research. Sometimes we have to fight, but everybody has to go, right? People who have an innate tendency, they can be trained in that aspect, which is Shastri. That when they should, that can be avoided.
Yes. Okay. हाँ जी. That's true. So let us see what Prabhupada says. Generally, a Vaishnava is non-violent, just like Arjuna. In the beginning, he was non-violent. He said, Krishna, what is the use of fighting? Let them enjoy. So by nature, he was non-violent. But he was induced by Krishna to become violent. When the Lord said that your non-violence will not help, you become violent. You kill them, I want it. So if Krishna wants, we shall be prepared to become violent. So those who are devotees of Krishna, they should be trained up both ways. They should be prepared. But generally, there is no question of becoming violent unnecessarily. So this is what Prabhupada says. Generally, a devotee is non-violent. Like for example, it is said that even so can a devotee become angry or not? So sometimes anger is required to drill a purpose, or one may say, who can become violent? Who can become angry? Is a question. Only one who in his normal state is never violent, and one who is in normal state is never angry or disturbed. Such a person can take it up, and when he takes it up, only when need be, Prabhupada says. When need be or as instructed to be. That is the point. When need be or as instructed to be. So this is technically what is called as academic integrity, which means to ensure that students develop moral and academic integrity. So one of the purposes of studying Shastra is to develop moral academic integrity in the interpretation, evaluation and application of Shastric knowledge. So this is an interesting aspect, or this is an being presented in this exercise, that so what is moral integrity? Moral integrity means misapplying the Shastras in one's life. That is called as violation of moral integrity, means misapplying the Shastras in one's life. Moral integrity. The Shastra said something, we are doing something else. That is violation of moral integrity. And what is academic integrity? Violation of academic integrity means we are quoting something out of its context. We are quoting something out of context. So we see that many times. No, quoting means speaking something out of context actually, and following something out of context is following something out of context means moral integrity, like that. Both are misused, but moral integrity means towards application, following actions, and academic integrity means towards speech, during speeches. So sometimes one may land up in a zone of having very fiery speeches. It ignites fire in this direction and then in that direction. And one may say, Prabhupada said this. Prabhupada said so many things. Prabhupada said so many things. So very important principle to understand is that Shastras or Acharyas and the Lord are supremely accommodative. And therefore, our endeavors will have the best effect when we follow in the footsteps of what the Lord is presenting us. When the Lord is supremely accommodative, and the Acharyas are supremely accommodative, and the Shastras are supremely accommodative, so how can we present one-sided? Or how can we be one-sided? That is very important actually. How can we be one-sided? Now in the discussion, many devotees were pointing out the fact that that okay, if you want to fight, we can fight on a philosophical ground. We can fight on a philosophical ground. So why, now even when we fight on a philosophical ground, the import is to establish the efficacy of the positive and the wealth which Lord Chaitanya has given us. You may have a gold-plated jewelry. In front of that, if you bring a real diamond, we don't know to say this one is fake. It is automatically thus proven so. Is it not? A gold-plated and a real gold. It stands out. So we present the real stuff. Now the real stuff the acharyas are very carefully handing over. Then that itself shines and it makes the effect of every other thing pale like that. So this is important actually. Therefore, in our preaching, the first principle is what? We give the positives of Krishna consciousness. And when an upcoming devotee is, his faith is strengthened, he started taking to the practice of Krishna consciousness, then for his protection, one may deeply explain the negativities of a lower outlook. But on the first shot, we are not shooting a newcomer, and we are not shooting him. So this is the approach, or this is the attitude we apply, because the Lord is following the same thing. Where did Lord Chaitanya shoot Prakashananda Saraswati? He did shoot, but how did he shoot? That is important. So first he established his place in his heart, and then we had opened all his doors, then the Lord went and cleaned it up. Same thing Lord Chaitanya did with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And Bhattacharya is speaking, Tumi shuni shuni raha raha mona bhari, buja ki na bujaiha, bujite na pari. After 7 days and 7 nights, Bhattacharya is telling, you were just hearing and you did not speak anything. Whether he understood or not, I am not able to understand. Lord Chaitanya, he did not say, you fool, what you are speaking is bogus. I will tell you now what is. And Lord Chaitanya is saying, Tumhara agya hai hetu karaye shravan. Lord Chaitanya is telling, very beautiful, Lord Chaitanya is saying, I don't understand all this philosophy, like that. But just it is sannyasera dharma, therefore I am sitting, and just because you desired it, therefore I am sitting and hearing. You see what a statement. So we see the Lord, how the Lord is wanting, how the Lord is dealing, and then the Lord, Bhattacharya, and then the Bhattacharya heart melted, and when Bhattacharya is speaking, then the Lord is telling that, the famous word, the Lord is telling that yes, the import of Vedanta Sutra is as resplendent as the sun, as effulgent as the sun. But your commentaries are like a cloud. They are stopping the sun rays from coming. And then Bhattacharya gets and then Lord Chaitanya explains. So we see how the Lord is really. So sometimes being too strong against somebody, against certain sects, against certain kinds of people, is not what our acharyas are talking about. So sometimes one may go in a zone of very strong. Actually, if one just misquotes or quotes out of place, just take some section and popularize it, then that can lead to quite a fanatic behavior. Like it can lead to fights, it can lead to a lot of problems. And that is what we see, that many people, they want to decry the Vedas, without going into names. And to decry the Vedas, they take out a particular section of a particular verse and just quote that and say, you see, that is why, this is the problem, is it not? Like the example we had heard from Radhishyam, one person quoting that the Vedas are telling, the goal of life is to enjoy. In some Puran, Padma Purana, somewhere it is written. And then our devotee went and searched and he found out that is a speech. It's there in Padma Purana. But then a demon is speaking it. So just misquoting, misplaying, like that can cause, it's completely, in one sense it is like exploiting Shastras, or exploiting Acharyas, like that. So we have to be holistic actually. We have to be holistic. That is called as academic integrity. No, we need not be very strong to people. But we can be, we can be robust in our explanation of the understanding. Even if we say, okay, let us be very strong to the scientific community. Now, if we speak strongly against scientific community, what are the consequences? You can speak. You can speak very strongly. You can smash, like that. But then the point is that what is the impact on that? If we are having too much of a smashing attitude only, then now the whole academic world is governed by the scientific community. Then what will happen is that all the doors of all the academic institutions will be closed for us. People say this is cult. It's a fanatic cult. Who is going to give entrance to us? So therefore, rather than just smashing, see, smashing may be required for an internal audience to who has already started practicing, to just consolidate their faith, is it not? But then on the out front, we directly start confronting. Then you see the consequences. You are not going to get penetration into the institutes. Rather, better we speak on the common aspects, and we speak the glorious aspects of what the Shastras are presenting, rather than going into the controversial aspects and highlighting the controversial aspects. Controversial aspects means we are not able to understand, because many things in Shastras are not understandable by Pratyaksha Anuman. What to do? At least that which is understandable, that we present very nicely, isn't that? So that people can appreciate. Like, what are the strengths of Shastras? Cosmology is not a strength of Shastras. It is something which requires a lot of faith. And that is why Sukadev Maharaj is giving it in the 5th canto. And if you have that faith, then you can understand higher things. Otherwise, filtered off. Because just like that Brahman cobbler passing the elephant to the eye of the needle. So 5th canto like that many a times. But then what is the strength of the Shastras? Reincarnation is the strength of the Shastras. The understanding of the modes is the strength of the Shastras. The understanding of the qualities, behaviors, that is the strength of the Shastras, is it not? Which is being presented from a normal people point of view. The understanding of the mind is the strength of the Shastras. The mind, intelligence, false ego, intertwining, entangling effect. These are the strength of the Shastras actually. So we focus on this and present this. It can bring about a lot of the approach towards meditation and introspection and internalization of Shastras are presenting. That's the strength of the Shastras actually, is it not? So that is the point actually. That is the point. So we have to be very careful, to be very balanced and holistic. So now the thing is that, just for example, say it is Prasadam time, Sunday feast time, and now what will happen? Sometime devotee has not taken coupon and he is entering and barging in. Now what should we do? So if one denies him, then he becomes like a Yamaraj, that is denying him, like that. But if he allows him, and he allows many others who are without coupon, like that, then others who have taken coupon, they will become like Yamadutas, because their prasad is finished, is it not? Then what to do? So in this type of situation, so one thing is that now being one-sided or being fanatic is very, okay, we are denying a person, Suppose somebody is on the line now, we are supposed to deny. And one way is, just, smash him up, नहीं है, ऐसे ही आ जाते हैं प्रसाद लेने के लिए, क्या को बोले क्या, नहीं टाइम पे क्यों नहीं आया, So, and the other person, he will say, मैं प्रसाद खाने के लिए आया हूँ क्या मंदिर, प्रसाद के भूखे हैं क्या, like that, and people say like that, जानते हो कौन है हमारा, ये है वो है, So then it becomes very intense, is it not? So even if one is denying, what the Shastras are telling, respect the other person, deal with him politely and lovingly, is it not? And explain to him politely and lovingly, is it not? And in case we have the understanding that, the people like that are not much and there is some backup of prasad, we can allow also. We can explain and then he can say, okay Prabhu, this time you can take, but please take care next time. Is it not? It's a balanced approach. Otherwise, we become one-sided and confront and like that. Is it not? So this is very important. And when we are on the receiving side, we should also be mature to understand that what can be done. Whenever service is undertaken in the material world, there are limitations. So definitely the devotees who are steering the service may have limitations. So we don't identify the and sometimes we may be the recipient of a limited is it not, or we may be the recipient of the depriving, or we may be the one who has suffered because of that, because what to do. So therefore now it requires maturity on our part not to see devotees in managerial hats, to see devotee the devotee, but because he is in that position, what he can do, but there are limitations in the service. Just like we had this Jaladuta festival, out of 13,000, 12,000 devotees were fed. So statistically, 12,500 devotees were fed, something like that. One of the meals, out of 13,000, 12,500 devotees were fed, like that. Statistically speaking, ठीक है कि नहीं? Fine only, is it not? Because there was not much guarantee, we were not very sure how many people will come, how many people will stay, and all those things. So many factors were there, like that. So 13,000, 12,500 is fine, like that. Of those 500, now we may become one of them. So then we make arrangements for like that. Like like personally, I did not get any lunch, and then I was seeing he was also roaming around. Then both of us took a taxi peacefully. We came here in Alipur. We had nice prasadam, like that. Then we went back peacefully, like that. Not that we start cribbing, criticizing, like that. It's okay, like that. This is very important. To be balanced, right? So we'll proceed further.
Sometimes there is a confusion between whether it is a shortcoming on the part of the devotee who is doing that service, or it is a problem in the perception. So
yeah, many times it is perceptions, and sometimes there may be a limitation. What can be done? There is a genuine limitation. What can be done? There is a genuine limitation. So we have to take it up holistically.
It's something difficult to distinguish sometimes.
Later we can go into the details if you want. For many people we can try to understand. Take it in. Now we may say they cannot make prasad, like that. But you ask their side, first of all they are supposed to transport so much. Sometimes the traffic jam is there, and there were so many devotees who were supposed to be in the packing. Some 1,000, 1,500 devotees. So the devotees had come, the allotted devotees had come, but they did not stay. They were supposed to stay 6 hours. They went away after 1.5 hours only, And it's so many crises come like that. What to do? So we have to understand it holistically before we start making comments, because we develop opinions, perceptions like that. So if you are not affected, it's okay, If you have the proper understanding of how management works, and if you have faith in the devotees involved, then it's okay. But if we are developing a negative perception, then it is better that tolerate it for that time, and then later go into the details through different people, try to understand what exactly happened before we publish a result, like that. Because we are generally one is too quick in publishing a result, these fellows insensitive fellows. No, but we try to understand in their shoes also. Now, can you imagine Jaldu Yatra, 1500 devotees supposed to do packing, and 1.5 hours they left. They're supposed to do for 6 hours. Lunchtime. How will they manage? So, and still they managed. It's great service actually, is it not? The point is, many times, it's a great service. So this is the point. Okay, so now we will go to our second section. Yeah? And done this exercise. Text 31. न च श्रेयो अनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनम् आहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom or happiness. Without knowing that one's self-interest is in Vishnu or Krishna, conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationships, hoping to be happy in such situations. In such a blind conception of life, they forget even the causes of material happiness. Arjuna appears to have even forgotten the moral codes of a Kshatriya. It is said that two kinds of men, namely the Kshatriya who dies directly in the front of the battlefield under Krishna's personal orders, and the person in the renounced order who is absolutely devoted to the spiritual culture, are eligible to enter the sun globe, which is so powerful and dazzling. Arjuna is reluctant even to kill his enemies, let alone his relatives. He thinks that by killing his kinsmen there will be no happiness in this life, and therefore he is not willing to fight. Just as a person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook. He has now decided to go into the forest and live a secluded life in frustration, but as a Kshatriya he requires a kingdom for his substance. Because the Kshatriyas cannot engage themselves in any other occupation. But Arjuna has no kingdom. Arjuna's sole opportunity for gaining a kingdom lies in fighting with his cousins and brothers and reclaiming the kingdom he inherited from his father, which he doesn't like to do. Therefore he considers himself fit to go to the forest to live in a secluded life of frustration. So many times living entity becomes too much concerned about the effects. What is going to happen? What is going to happen to me? Like that. And how things will turn out for me? Like that. And many a times, such type of thought processes is also a snare of Maya actually. Unnecessarily Maya puts us in illusion in another way. Is it not? So the Supreme Lord who is taking care of everything, who has given us the opportunity to come to Krishna consciousness, will He not preserve our Krishna consciousness? The Supreme Lord who has done what not to bring us to Krishna consciousness, will He not maintain us? So therefore a devotee does not get overwhelmed by the material settings. Okay, Krishna service, money is not there, what to do? Let us leave chanting and go out. No. Krishna will send. That is the point. So therefore, yes, we do some amount of endeavors in the service to Krishna, just to keep us engaged, and just because we need to do something, like that. but we don't do it in such a way that it hampers on our sadhana. So being concerned about money and working towards it and thinking about it is fine, because Krishna's mission requires it. But being obsessively lost into it, no, I have to get money, I have to get money, I have to get money, and in that drive, one is not understanding, one has forgotten what is called as preaching, one has forgotten what is called as deity worship, shastras, and morning program, and he's doing night programs, like that, and he's running around here and there. He's forgotten the dhams and he's running around industries, here and there, and manufacturing plants and this and that. So everything is okay if it is balanced. So that way, sometimes one gets into too much of an unnecessarily worry, like that. So material nature, what it does is that it takes a small problem and it makes it appear so big. And personal thing, nobody can exist, the whole generation, nobody can exist, without this particular aspect. So this many a times, this type of desire for one's upkeep, that how everything for me should be well and good. Everything for me should be, it comes in the category of this enjoyment. And now Arjuna is telling, how will I enjoy? There's nobody around. How am I going to enjoy? That's what he's going to say. And similarly, one starts feeling, okay, this facility is not there, that facility is not there. If this doesn't continue for long and this type of atmosphere doesn't continue, how will I enjoy? Or how will I be peaceful, happy, whatever, One the same drive. That is the very concern about enjoyment which is being presented here. Actually. So let us read text 32 to 35 and then we'll discuss it further. Kim no rajnena govinda kim bhoger jivitena va येषामर्थिकाङ्क्षितं नो राज्यं भोगसुखानि च तायमेव शिष्टयुधे प्रणामस्त्वक्त्वा धनानि च आचार्या पितरः पुत्राः तथैवा च पितामहः मातुला स्वासुरपौत्रः स्वाला सम्बन्धिनस्तथा एतान्न हन्तुमिच्छामि गृह्णातोऽपि मधुसूदन अपि त्रैलोक्यराजयस्य हेतो किं नो मही कृते निहत्या धारताष्ट्राणान् किं प्रकृति स्वजनार्दनः. So what Arjuna is saying? Oh Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield. O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living beings, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? So we see actually the mentality that the living entity cherishes is that, or the mentality the living entity is practiced to is that, he thinks that happiness is going to come from every avenue, but if other than Krishna, other than Krishna. So that is the disease of the living entity actually, which one has to overcome.
Isn't it because we are not tested and he's getting something on this side?
Yeah, so he's getting something on this side. Actually, material nature gives something so that one gets intoxicated and then it withdraws a lot, but because one is intoxicated, one is not able to see like that. And therefore, the first instruction of the Shastras is see it holistically. You are getting something from material nature, but she takes away a lot of things that also you see, and then you decide. Is it not? So therefore, we see that this is the disease that from every nook and corner a person thinks that if this is there, then it is nice. Just like even as a devotee, people one feels okay, if money is there, then nice. If some followers are there, nice. If some post is there, then nice. If not too much hard work is there, then nice. Like that. If a very big preaching group is there, I'll just go and give Ashirwad there, then nice. Like that. So, what about if holy name is there 32 rounds every day? Will that not be nice? What about if Bhagavatam is there whole day? Will that not be nice? Like that. So this is the point actually. That what appears is that every other thing, if that is set right, it's nice. So many times actually, person wants to establish his presence, and a person wants to hook on to avenues, so many avenues. Really feel that okay, these avenues are there, then I will get enjoyment, like that. And therefore, many times there is a craving for freedom or independence, like that. Many times, just like one feels okay, if I have an Apple Mac, it's nice, like that. At least you purchase apple given by Krishna, like that, it will give you some strength, again, that way. Or you purchase the other kind of apple, I don't know. So yes, the service of the Lord has to be, sometimes it's just, so sometimes so many things keep happening, but something, if I get this gadget, it's nice, like that. After that, you may not look at it also, like that. Like sometimes one time a wave came in Brahmachari ashram, that if one has a laptop, that means he's a complete Brahmachari. Just like you say a woman, if she gives birth to a child and she has a child, like that, she's complete woman, like that. So they feel that Brahmachari means he's complete and he has a laptop, Nowadays when he has a, what is this called as? This smartphone, like that. He has a smartphone, like that. And then, and then the list is not ending actually. He has an iPad, then he has, there is something called as power charger, power bank, yes, power bank, like that. And there is no end to all that. And then it's okay, I am a preacher, I should have a mobile portable, what is that? Projector, like that. Mobile projector, like that. And then one says, okay, why to have a mouse? You have something, which you can hold it in the hand, and you just move that, and the projection is moving ahead and all that, and you have a laser, you can point it, on the slideshow, and So the point is that, one should. So many times, something or the other one keep getting. If I have this, then it's nice. Sometimes the person says, okay, I have becoming, if I have a car, it's nice, like that. If I have, So the shelter point is that if we have remembrance of Krishna, then it will be nice actually. Other thing may or may not be there. Okay, for service requires, Sometimes the thought comes, if I am traveling in flights, then it is nice, like that. Is it not? So the tendency to take any or anywhere and everywhere shelter other than Krishna, that is the disease being pointed out here actually. So it's not that for Krishna service does get expanded, that is fine, when certain gadgets are used, or when certain facilities are used, that's not. At least one should be able to justify To himself at least one should be able to justify. We don't have to justify to the whole world that this is utmost required for the service, and if this is taken, then the service can get very powerfully expanded. Is it not? Otherwise, in general, we don't need anything actually. We only need Krishna's shelter actually. Is it not? Like that. So, like last 3 years I was experimenting. In KGP we had no projector and I was just experimenting, like that. And preaching was going on. We are having, last 3 years we are having, as it is batches, like that. And only when we came in a little more, financially, stable situation, we got some Lakshmi donation from Mataji, Bhattacharya Mataji here. From that money now we have purchased projector. After 2.5-3 years, like that. Until now, no projector, nothing. Like that, only things were going on. And then preaching was going on, in that sense. So the point is that it's very important for one to understand that, shelter and happiness will come from Krishna. And now here Krishna is telling, you do, and Krishna is telling him, Arjuna, and Arjuna is saying, no. You are there, that's fine, but if this is there, that will be happy. And if that is there, that will bring about happiness to me. And this is there, that will bring out happiness to me. This is the spirit of enjoyment. And now here what Arjuna is doing in this particular verse, he is very amazingly, Arjuna is using various, he is calling out Krishna with different names. In particular 3 names he uses. In text 32 he calls Krishna as Govinda, Kimno Rajena Govinda, and then in text 34 he is using he is calling Krishna as Madhusudana, Gnatopi Madhusudana, and then the last verse he is calling Krishna as Janardana. So now this is very amazing, and the specific name is denoting the specific emotional state, or the mood, or the depth of the relationship. Actually these names are very important because in them also what is being addressed, it reflects the mood actually. So Govinda means one who gives pleasure to the senses. So when we serve Krishna, our senses get the highest delight, is it not? So here Arjuna sort of is questioning Krishna. Now he is telling, Hari, you are Govinda. You are supposed to give pleasure to the senses. But why are you torturing my senses? And why are you making me torture other senses? You are Govinda, why are you doing that? That is what that is what is the meaning or the import in there, like that. And then he is calling Krishna Janardana. Janardana means one who is the protector of the people. He says, oh Krishna, you are Janardana, you are the protector of the people, and you are asking me to kill people, and you are engaging me to kill people. What is this? So Arjuna is pouring out his emotions in this fashion here. Very amazing. And then he is calling Krishna Madhusudana. Madhusudana means killer of the demon, and that's what Krishna is going to show, that I have already killed these people, like that. I am only giving you glory if you want to take it. Otherwise, these people are already killed. Nimitta matra bhava savisam. The Lord says that. So now what Arjuna is feeling in this, oh Lord, you are Madhusudana, you are killer of the demons, but why are you killing my sentiments? And why are you choking me and forcing me, like that? It's also kind of killing, that why are you killing my sentiments and why are you killing my, my particular, way of perceiving and space for me, like that. Why that is getting, So here Arjuna, you see, in such a sweet way, he is taking shelter of the Lord, in one sense, He's taking shelter of the Lord. And then this is the meaning being portrayed here, in this particular verse. So we will read the purport. You have not yet read, right, the purport? Arjuna has addressed Lord Krishna as Govinda because Krishna is the object of all pleasure for cows in the senses. By using the significant word, Arjuna indicates that Krishna should understand what will satisfy Arjuna's senses. But Govinda is not meant for satisfying our senses. If we try to satisfy the senses of Govinda, then automatically our own senses get satisfied. Materially, everyone wants to satisfy his senses and he wants God to be the auto supply of such satisfaction. The Lord will satisfy the senses of the living entity as much as they deserve, not to the extent that they may go it. But when one takes the opposite way, namely when one tries to satisfy the senses of Govinda, without desiring to satisfy one's own senses, then by the grace of Govinda, all the desires of the living entity are satisfied. Arjuna's deep affection for community and family members is exhibited here partly due to his natural compassion for them. He is therefore not prepared to fight. Everyone wants to show his opulence to his friends and relatives, but Arjuna fears that all his friends and relatives will be killed in the battlefield and he will be unable to share his opulence after victory. This is a typical calculation of material life. The transcendental life, however, is different. Since a devotee wants to satisfy the desires of the Lord, he can, Lord willing, accept all kinds of opulence for the service of the Lord. And if the Lord is not willing, he should not accept a farthing. Arjuna did not want his relatives to kill his relatives, and if there were any need to kill them, he decided that Krishna kill them personally. You are Madhusudana, you only kill, mujhe mat lagao. At this point, no, that was my addition, it was not there in the purport. You are Madhusudana. At this point, he did not know that Krishna has already killed them before their coming into the battlefield, and that he was only to become an instrument. This fact is disclosed in the following chapters. As a natural devotee of the Lord, Arjuna did not like to retaliate against his miscreant cousins and brothers, but it was the Lord's plan that they should all be killed. The devotee of the Lord does not retaliate against the wrongdoer, but the Lord does not tolerate any mischief done to his devotee by the miscreants. The Lord can excuse a person on his own account, but he excuses no one who has done harm to his devotees. Therefore, the Lord was determined to kill the miscreants, although Arjuna wanted to excuse them. Now here we see that, before we go here, here we see one very important point actually. The important point is that why Arjuna is quoting these reasons. And now Arjuna is going to quote further reasons also. Now he is quoting the reason that enjoyment has to be there with family, with people around. Without that there is no concept of enjoyment. And previously he is talking about compassion. What about others? Like that. From this attitude of Arjuna, we get a glimpse of what Vedic culture is. And now next Arjuna is going to talk about, he is going to talk about sinful reaction. Then he talks about dynasty. What about dynasty? What about dynasty? So in these arguments of Arjuna, we can see the richness of Vedic culture. Vedic culture is built on soft-heartedness. People don't see themselves. Naturally, they see others. So that is Vedic culture actually. In Vedic culture, the concept of, nowadays people will say enjoyment with family. Why with relatives? What kind of enjoyment with relatives? Like that. Let all bank balance be there in my pocket only. In front of relatives, let me pose as if I have nothing. What is the concept of? So person goes into his own shell. This is modern day approach. But previous approach is sharing. I have opulence, share it with everybody, and that is how we share happiness. Is it not? The richness of Vedic culture is being exhibited. So this was a default outlook in Vedic culture. That is how rich Vedic culture is, you see. Sharing, being with everyone. Concerned about others. Concerned about future, very long thinking people, like that. And he's talking about dynasty, as we will discuss next week. So this is an important aspect which we can see because it gives us a glimpse of what is Vedic culture all about. What Vedic tradition is all about. So therefore Arjuna, because in one sense, Arjuna, one should equate kingdom for enjoyment. One should not equate family. And that also, relatives. It's not his own family. It's not his wife and children. Is it not? It is others. Is it not? It's relatives. So how can a family be equated for enjoyment? Now you ask any modern person here, what do you think of enjoyment? Enjoyment means bank balance. Enjoyment means one, a good wife, if you talk in little moral terms, like that. There is no end if we bypass morality. when there is no end to what. So one wants a good wife, and one wants an obedient children, one wants a good bungalow, one wants a few vehicles, one wants a big phone. It should not be so small. It should be this 3 times of this. Like that. Again, so big phone, is it not? And that's what one wants. Again, that's enjoyment. Somebody will say, आपके मामा जी के बहनोई के ननन के बुआ के बेटी का पोता person may not be able to see also कौन है ये is it not? But Vedic times we see that in front of Arjuna these kind of people are only standing again, and he is equating enjoyment with family. This is the this is how rich Vedic culture is. Like that. So, although Arjuna is portraying a materialistic outset right now, but in Vedic life, even a materialistic outlook is so sweet, is it not? It's so endearing to the heart. And what a thought! This is a materialistic thought in a Vedic culture. How will I enjoy with my family relatives? It's not his own sons and wife. Like that. It is this. Very long wounded relationships are there. DNA chains. Like that. Long wounding things are there, and he is equating that. So this is a standard of materialistic thought in Vedic culture. Therefore, Vedic culture, even the most, and Krishna is going to chastise him for that. Fool. Again, kutasvam kasmalamidam. We are going to read that coming up, like that. Vishame samupastitam anarya jushtam aswargyam. So, he is going to chastise for that. This is a low grade thought, a material thought in a Vedic culture. But if we try to analyze from our present perspective, we see how sweet. Like that. So that is the point, that when there is, this is what happens actually. When we create a Krishna conscious atmosphere, when we create, all of us contribute and work hard, taking shelter of Krishna and praying to create a spiritual atmosphere, then the spiritual atmosphere is a semblance of Vedic culture. And then such a kind of spiritual atmosphere is there, and people are living and devotees are living around, that in that kind of spiritual atmosphere, even if a devotee is going low in his enthusiasm and low in his consciousness, like that, because the atmosphere is so powerful, and it is surcharged with Krishna, and it is Krishna's presence is permeated everywhere. Because of that, even if one is going low and he is becoming materialistic, he is becoming sensual, he is becoming insensitive or whatever, like that, even that will be having a very powerful, it will also be it will also be a glorious. That means that this is the once this culture is there around, this atmosphere is there around, a spiritual atmosphere, spiritually vibrant atmosphere is there around. Even if a devotee is low, he will still be not so low, like that, because the atmosphere upholds him. Therefore, that Vedic culture upholds, used to uphold people, like that. And when he is not fallen so much, very easy for him to come up. Is it not? So therefore, the understanding is that it is the duty of a devotee, the prime duty of a devotee to uphold, and add on to the atmosphere being spiritually vibrant, like that. It's each and every devotee's responsibility, because we invest in that. Tomorrow, when we need it, that atmosphere will save us. That atmosphere will save us actually. So we stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Yeah. We may not be having a class next week because of Durga Puja camp. Yeah, it depends on